Hello, Namaskar, welcome again. So in this lecture we are going to start and study the properties of inverse trigonometric function. As you have seen in the very first lecture for this chapter, we have discussed about trigonometric function, the reviews of the previous studied class. Class 11 studied topics and the properties which we have seen for trigonometric functions. So similar to that, here we'll have a properties of inverse trigonometric functions where we'll again utilize the properties that we have already revised in our first lecture. So let's begin and see what are the properties and some basic proofs to that with some examples. We'll see in this lecture. So let's see. So properties of inverse trigonometric function, of course, whenever we are talking about inverse trigonometric function, we will always talk about the validity range, which is always in the principal value branches corresponding to those trigonometric functions. And we have already seen that what is the principal value branch for different trigonometric functions. So that now we should be aware of, and we should remember that for different trigonometric functions. And also, as we have discussed that if y is equal to sine inverse x, then we write sine y is equal to x. Similarly, if it is y is equal to similarly if it is x is equal to sine inverse y, right? Then we can write y is equal to sine x, right? Sine inverse y is equal to sine x, y is equal to sine x. So it would mean that you can write sine of sine inverse x equal to x, where your domain, of course, it is a trigonometric function, so it will have a domain from -1 to 1. And similarly, you can write sine inverse of sine x, okay, and here it would be again equal to x, but the x will be element of minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? So again, now you can see that how the inverse function is defined for this domain range, and for trigonometric function the domain is this. So if the inverse exists, then of course they are under the principal value branches where they are 1 1 and on 2. So this is that we already we've seen in our previous discussions, and the basic concepts that we discussed about all these things. Now we'll see one by one some properties related to inverse trigonometric function, and I will prove one of them, and then the rest you can similarly follow and do your own practice with that. So let's begin with the very first one, and here we'll utilize that 1 by x type of domain values, then how they will look. So for example, let's say you have sine inverse 1 by x, right? So this is equal to the properties. Now these are the properties you should remember, and they are very easy. You don't have to remember you don't have to work hard to remember. It's just that some practice and some symmetry understanding will make you help you to remember it very easily. So this is for one property. The second in this term, where 1 by x type for cos. So cos inverse 1 by x, it can be written as sec inverse x, where x is greater than or equal to 1, or x is less than or equal to -1. Similarly for tan x, 1 upon x equal to cot inverse x, where x is greater than 0, obviously, otherwise it will not be defined. So of course the condition here written that makes it that where these functions are defined, and then these are the properties. So these are the three properties, and it is very easy to prove. So let me prove one, and then the remaining you can prove. So let me prove the very first one, right? This one. So how to prove it? So let's assume that cosec inverse x is equal to y. So that you can write as cosec y is equal to x. Any problem? No. And then you take inverse of both. So you can write 1 upon cosec y is equal to 1 upon x. Right? So and then this 1 upon cosec y you can write sin y, is equal to 1 upon x. This implies y is equal to sine inverse 1 upon x. Now here we have assumed y is equal to what? Cosec inverse x. So you can write cosec inverse x is equal to sine inverse 1 upon x, right? See how beautifully you have defined. This is what we are talking about. Sine inverse 1 upon x is equal to cosec inverse x. So this is how very simple proof for this. You can similarly do for the remaining, either this one or this one, and you can see if you are getting the same result. But this is very nice property, and you can easily remember that how to get it. But of course, as I discussed in the beginning in the first lecture about review of the trigonometric functions, there are the formulas we should remember to even understand and prove these inverse trigonometric functions, because you should have these properties remembered for that. Now let's move and have a look at the second type of properties for inverse trigonometric functions. The second type, so it's a minus x type. So let's say you have a sine inverse minus x, then you can write it as minus sine inverse x, where it is defined for x is between 1 minus 1. Similarly, tan inverse minus x is equal to minus tan inverse x. Of course, x can be any real number. Cosec minus x is equal to minus cosec inverse x, where modulus of x is greater than or equal to 1. Right. So this is another interesting property where we have this domain values in negatives. Then how we can prove? So let me prove this one here again. So let's assume that for this cosec inverse minus x equal to y, then you can write is minus x equal to cosec y. It would mean that x is equal to minus cosec y. It would also mean that you can take inside minus y. That would not, because the that from the trigonometric function property we know that, as we have seen in our very first lecture for this chapter. And then you can have put the values of this, take inverse of both sides. So you can have implies cosec inverse x is equal to minus y, implies y is equal to minus cosec inverse x. You put y you have assumed this one, right? So you can write cosec inverse minus x is equal to minus cosec inverse x, right? So now you have easily proved it. Similarly, you can do the rest, try it, and then you will enjoy it well, right? For the remaining sine and tan you can try. Now let's move further and let's have a look at the third type of properties, where again we'll be utilizing minus x type, but here we'll have a slight variation. So for example, let's say you have a cos inverse minus x, so it can be written as pi minus cos inverse x, where x, it is defined for x in the range of minus 1 to 1. Similarly, for sec inverse minus x, you will have pi minus sec inverse x, where a mod of x is greater than or equal to 1. The other for cot minus x, you can write it as minus pi minus cot inverse x, where x is any real number. So this is another set of very nice properties. And again here I will prove the one, let me prove this one for you. So let's say let's assume that sec inverse minus x is equal to y, right? So you can write take the inverse of both sides, as we just saw in the beginning, that inverse person. So it will be sec of sec inverse would be cancelled out, so you will have minus x equal to sec y, right? You can write easily x is equal to minus sec y. and then it means that you know that sec pi minus y is equal to minus sec y, that property from the trigonometric functions we are utilizing here. Okay, and it would mean that you take again inverse of both sides, so you can have a sec inverse x is equal to pi minus y. It will mean that y is equal to pi minus sec inverse x. You rearrange it, you have just assumed this here y, so you put the value now, sec inverse minus x is equal to pi minus sec inverse x. See how nicely you have proved this. The remaining you can easily prove. So these are very nice property you can utilize when complicated equations and things comes, and then if you know the property, that makes the calculation very fast and easy. So that's one type of property. Let's move further and have a look of the other types. Let's say the type 4, where we utilize that sum of the two inverse trigonometric functions, something like this. So let's say if we have a sine inverse x plus cos inverse x, some kind of things you get, then what would be the output? Let's say it would be the property that it will have equal to pi by 2, where x can be element of in the range of -1 to 1. Similarly, for tan inverse x plus cot inverse x, it can be written as equal to pi by 2, where x can be any real number. And the other one is that cosec inverse x plus sec inverse x is equal to again pi by 2, where you can have a greater than or equal to. So these are the very good questions. Multiple choice questions can be made out of it very nicely, and it will test you all your understanding and the thinking power. So for competitive exams and even for your board exams, these kind of questions are very useful, and your understanding will be tested there. So that's a really good question. So here again I will take one to prove it. So let me prove the third one here. So let's assume that this cosec inverse x is equal to y. Cosec inverse x is equal to y. So you can write it as x is equal to cosec y. No problem here with that. And you can write this cosec y is equal to sec pi by 2 minus y, the trigonometric function properties you might have studied in 11th and we had discussed in the beginning chapter. And then you can now take the inverse. So now you can write sec inverse x is equal to pi by 2 minus y. You just rearrange it again, so you can have y is equal to pi by 2 minus sec inverse x, right? So it means that if you put the y value here, so it will become cosec inverse x, and then you take minus sec, it will become sec inverse x, and you can have equal to pi by 2, right? So this is very nicely proved. Similarly, you try for the rest. Now let's move further and have another fifth type of properties with this. So let's the fifth type. Let's have this again. Here we'll use that for tan. So tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Of course, it is defined of for x is less than or equal to 1. If it is equal to, then it will become infinite. The other one is that where you take the minus here, minus tan inverse y is equal to, it would be tan inverse x minus y upon x plus 1 plus xy. Okay, where xy is obviously greater than minus 1. And the third type is tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. It can be written as pi plus tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy, where xy is greater than 1 and x and y are greater than 0. So this is another type important property. So to prove it, let's prove the second one. So how to prove it? So let's have tan inverse x is equal to theta and assume that tan inverse y is equal to phi. So this you can write as x is equal to tan theta and y is equal to tan phi. No problem. Now let's utilize our learning from trigonometric functions. So we can write tan theta minus phi is equal to, expand it as per trigonometric function properties as we had studied, tan theta minus tan phi upon 1 plus tan theta tan phi. That now put the values here, so you will have x minus y upon 1 plus xy, right? Then now again take inverse in both sides, so theta phi is equal to tan inverse x minus y upon x plus y. So now you put the value of theta and phi, right? So you can have tan inverse x for this minus tan inverse y, and this is equal to tan inverse x minus y upon 1 plus xy. You see how nicely you have proved. You can do the same for the rest, right? Now let's move and have the sixth type. The sixth type, no, 2 tan of type. Let's write here. 2 tan inverse x can be written as sin inverse 2x upon 1 plus x square, where mod of x is less than or equal to 1. The other type you can have for the same 2 tan inverse x is equal to, in the form of cos inverse 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square, where x is greater than or equal to 0. See, remember this conditions where they are valid. 2 tan inverse x is equal to tan inverse 2x upon x square, where x varies between 1 minus x less than 1, right? So see, for the different ranges, the outcome can have different values. So depending upon the situation, you may be utilizing your understanding here, and you can use that the same values, same type values, but it may have different functionality, and that can be extended depending upon which condition you are applying. And here again, let's prove the one is already proved in your book, so let me prove this one, second one, right? So let's assume tan inverse x is equal to y. You can write this as x is equal to tan y. Okay, so now let's start from the RHS and we'll prove that it is equal to HS. So RHS is what? Cos inverse 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square. You can write this as cos inverse 1 minus tan square y upon 1 plus tan square y. Okay, this now you remember the trigonometric function here, it is equivalent to cos 2y. If you expand cos 2y, you can write like this. So you can have cos inverse cos of 2y, and then it may be written as, this will be neutralized, so it will become 2y. It would mean y it is what? Tan inverse x, 2 tan inverse x, right? So C is equal to LHS. So easily proved. Similarly, you can do for the rest. Practice it and see if you are finding the same. Now let's move to some examples where utilize these properties, the inverse trigonometric properties, to solve those problems. So let's see. So let's the first example is let's say we want to prove that tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 2 by 11 is equal to tan inverse 3 by 4. This is what we want to prove, right? So let's begin with the left hand side, which is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 2 by 11. Okay, So now here you utilize the property. Just we know from now till now what we studied: tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. This is just we saw there, right? So utilize that and put the utilize this formula and put the value. So 1 upon 2 plus 2 upon 11 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 into 2 by 11, right? So you will have tan inverse 15 by 22, and then you will have here if you cancel out to 10 by 11, you expand it and you will get 15 by 20. You can solve it further, it will become tan inverse 3 by 4, right? See how it is easily it is proved, equal to RHS. The other problem can have look like that. You can for expanding. So for example, let's say I want to expand in the shorter form for tan inverse cos x upon 1 minus sin x, right? I want to solve this. So how to solve it? And of course it is written that the value for x is between x less than pi by 2. So this is the condition, of course, given because there it is defined. So we want to solve it. So you can write this tan inverse cos x upon sin x. So we'll expand, we'll utilize some trigonometric functions to expand it, and those functions we are going to use are like, we remember from trigonometric function cos 2 theta is equal to cos square theta minus sin square theta, and then utilize the property of 1 sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, and sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta into cos theta. So this is the trigonometric function which you are going to utilize in expanding this, and then you see that how good it is solved. So let's say tan inverse, okay. So cos x, you can write cos x, you can write cos x by 2 as well. So then you can have you can write as cos 2 into x by 2. It makes the same thing, and then you can utilize this formula. Similarly here you can write 1 minus sin 2 into x by 2, no problem. Now you can utilize this formula and see how they look. So tan inverse, you can have this first one cos 2 theta type. So you will have cos square x by 2 minus sin square x by 2. For the bottom, for 1 you can expand it as sin square x by 2 plus cos square x by 2. For sin 2 theta, this one you can write minus 2 sin theta cos theta. Now you can utilize the property here, a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b, and the other one a square plus b square minus 2ab is equal to a minus b ka whole square. So you can just further normalize it. So you can have this value written as cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2 and into cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2, and here you can just utilize this. So you can have cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2 whole square. This square can be cancelled with this, and then you can just utilize it like this: tan inverse cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2 upon cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2, right? You take here sin common, so cos common, so you can cos can be cancelled out. So you can have tan inverse 1 plus tan x by 2 upon 1 minus tan x by 2, right? And we know here tan pi by 4 is what? 1, so it will be equivalent to tan pi by 4. Then again we utilize one trigonometric function where we can have tan x plus tan y upon 1 minus tan x tan y. It can be written as tan x plus y. So here x is pi by 4. If you take as pi by 4, so you can write here equal to tan inverse pi by 4 plus x by 2. Okay, so now you see that how nicely you have now tan inverse of tan, this one. So tan inverse tan will be cancelled out, and then will be left with pi by 4 plus x by 2. So see how beautifully you just solved, where you got tan inverse cos x upon 1 minus sin x equal to pi by 4 plus x by 2. Good. Let's have one last example here, the last one. So here it is said that you find the value of cos of sec inverse x plus cosec inverse x, so where mod of x is greater than or equal to 1. So again here you can see that this from the properties of inverse trigonometric function, this is equal to pi by 2. So here it will become cos pi by 2, and then that is equal to 0. So see, this is a very nice short answer type question, where we utilize the property of sec inverse x plus cosec inverse x is equal to pi by 2. So this is the property utilized here. So this is all the properties of inverse trigonometric function. You see some very basic brief formula, and very important that you utilize all the learnings of trigonometric functions, so which we reviewed in the beginning. So if you have a better understanding of trigonometric function and the property, you can easily prove and find out the inverse trigonometric function property and values. So this is all about inverse trigonometric function property. In the next lecture, I will discuss about summary of the chapter, and we'll solve some more questions related to that. So see you there. Thank you.